Hey everybody, I'm Ron.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we're the
RV Weekenders.
Hey, today we got a little short video. We're going to show you one of the easiest things you can do to upgrade your fifth wheel, travel trailer, whatever it is that you have out there, motorhome. We're going to upgrade our sink faucets to something a little bit better, a little bit easier to use. Believe it or not, we went down and bought these faucets at Home Depot. So we're going to show you how that works and how you can do this on the cheap. So let's get started.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay everybody, so before we get started, we want to kind of go through some of the different things that we're going to need to get this done. First of all, we will show you the faucet. This is a Glacier Bay faucet that we picked up at Home Depot for about $35. I waited for them to go on sale. So keep your eye on Home Depot sales. And this is the label, so you can kind of see which model number it is. I will leave a link below so that you can go to Home Depot and check it out. And Home Depot has Price Fister, and they have Glacier Bay, and they have Delta, and they have Kohler, and believe it or not, they all have the same footprint as far as the holes are concerned, so they'll pretty much fit. Just depends on how much you want to spend. We didn't feel like we wanted to spend a ton of money on it, so we went with this particular model. And now let's talk about the tools that we're going to need. For this particular job, really the only tool you're going to need is that pair of channel locks. Now the reason why I have these other items here is we put valves on the hot and cold side to shut off, just like you would in a house system. We put these valves in, and I got these valves on at Amazon, so I will leave a link so that you can pick these up. And I recommend you put one of these in every circuit, in whether it's your sink, whether it's your toilet, every circuit that you have. So if you have a leak and you need to work on, and you need to work on something, you're able to shut that system off without affecting the whole entire fifth wheel, okay, or trailer or motorhome. And then here we have the clamps for the PEX. So when you cut the PEX and you put the valve in, you will use these. And I will, in a future short video, show you how to actually clamp those on. They do really well. And then this is the actual clamp that you use. I picked this up again at Home Depot, and I can leave you a link for that. Now to cut the PEX, all you need is, and I picked this up at Lowe's one day, and I actually use this for my irrigation. It's really slick and very sharp and does an excellent job. So pick this up, and then you can cut the PEX. So let's get started. We're going to head up to the bathroom and grab the channel lock, Stephanie, and let's go on and head up there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the old one. Okay, one of the things I wanted to show you is where we put these valves so that we could shut the sink off, the hot and cold. Okay, so both of these hot and colds now have a valve that we can turn off the water and isolate the sinks so that we can make repairs. Okay, so one of the first things you need to do is make sure you open up the valves to release any of the pressure, make sure the water's shut off. Okay, and the easiest thing to do is right now you have two nuts, as you can see back on the back side. So I'm going to reach up there with a pair of pliers, and I'm going to loosen them up, and I'm going to get the camera out of the way while I do that. It is a little tight back there, but not too tight that you can't get the channel locks back there. You can loosen up the nuts on the back, or the flanges on the back, flange nuts I should say, on the back. And then every faucet has a little nut like this that you just need to reach back there, and usually they're hand tight. They're not so tight that you can't get them off with your fingers. As you can see, I already got one almost off. Okay, then I'll reach back and get the other one. And if they're too tight, then you always reach for the pliers. Most of the time they're not though, or they're just in a position where you can't get to them, and there's not a whole lot of room back there to get the pliers down. So I'm going to reach back there with 2 hands, and there it goes.
That one was on really tight.
Yeah. And you can see that everything's loosened up. This one's actually on a little tighter than the other one, so it's not spinning off quite as easy. There it goes. And off it comes. And as you can see, they're fairly cheap. The ones that any RV Keystone or Grand Design, they're going to find the cheapest stuff that they can get. So now we're going to put this one in, and you want to make sure that this particular gasket, it is a gasket, you want to make sure that that gets stays in place, and that it's nice that you don't cock it when you get it in, putting it on. As you can see, it's not quite in there right. So we're going to make sure that it gets put on correctly, and then slide it down in the holes. Okay, and make sure that that gasket is there in place, because it seals everything up. You don't need to use any caulking or anything like that. That will seal it up nice and tight. And then you're going to reach back there, put these on, and tighten them up finger tight. Tighten them up as best you possibly can. You can use a wrench if you really want to, if you're not quite strong enough to get them on there. Nice and tight there. Put the other one on.
You know, I'm glad you pointed out that that piece of plastic was supposed to be on it, because it almost looked like packaging material. It could be easily thrown away, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people might think that it's packing material, but it's really not. It's actually the gasket that needs to go underneath the faucet to seal the faucet up so you don't get leaks. I'm using both hands back here to make sure that they're both nice and tight. All right.
You can put the camera underneath just to give them a view.
Little visual.
Like. Yep.
Right. You can see up in there, I've got that all nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. And again, it's all finger tight. And then we're going to reattach the flange nuts. There we go. And I will take a wrench and just secure them nice and tight. Okay.
I'm not sure if this is true for all models, but on the Montana, on ours, 3931 FB, those sinks, the drains, they're not the same size as the drains that come with the faucets. So, you don't have to mess with that drain. Just leave it in place. pretty sure it's true with anyone because of the way that the drains have that extra hole that we were looking at. Does that sound about right to you?
Yep. Alright. Okay, everything's nice and tight. And since you've been down here, you need to check and make sure that all of these fittings, and you'll notice I have a towel down here to catch any extra water, but you need to go through and make sure that all this is tight. Don't neglect your drains. Make sure that everything down here is tight. All this can be hand tight. You don't need to put a wrench on them. That's why these little tabs are here. Just make sure it's all nice and tight so you don't have any drips. And grab this, the P-trap, and make sure that it's not sliding up and down real easy. It should be somewhat difficult to slide up and down on that pipe fitting right there. So, and that's it. It's all installed. Now we can turn the water back on and test it out. And we'll do the other one here. And I just wanted to show you how to do that. Fairly short video. Thank you very much for coming along with us. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button and share the videos. You have a great day.